All right, welcome everybody to this week's client support webinar. My name is Bennett McDowell with traderscoach.com, and today is November 13th, 2024. And you should be able to see my screen and hopefully hear me okay. If a couple of you would mind, just let me know that the technology is working. That would be great. All right, in the meantime, let me just go through some of the administrational items I have to go through. And of course, that includes telling you a little bit about the risks involved in trading. Like I always say, without those risks, there are no opportunities. So the two really go hand in hand, but you need to be aware of the risks, okay? So keep that in mind. Past performance in the markets doesn't guarantee future performance. I think we all know that. Trade with money you can afford to risk. Any ideas we share today, just run those by your financial advisor or whoever manages your money before actually implementing them with real money, just to be sure, okay, that they're suitable for you. All right, what else can I tell you? Know how to do risk control. I think that's important. All right, thanks everybody for letting me know the technology is A-okay. All right, excellent. So you can hear me okay, great. All right, so that kind of covers the risks. I always like to mention this because, you know, we have a lot of people actively trading the markets. Some are position traders only, some are futures traders, some trade Bitcoin, whatever. But, you know, this is a great venue, and it's called Apex Trader Funding, and it's one of the ones that's been around the longest. And so I kind of like that because they have a track record, and that's excellent. They do payouts on folks, so you can see some of the stats there. That was from a while ago. I'll have to get the latest screenshot. But in any case, what they do is they actually give you a chance to trade, actively day trade the futures markets using their capital. And you first start as an evaluation account, and then you work your way up to funded accounts called PA accounts. And from there, depending on how well you do, you get a payout. We've been using them for quite some time. They give you free data. Data's fine, excellent data. Plugs into NinjaTrader, or you can use Tradovate or Rhythmic, however you want to do it. But I'm going to put a link up in there in the chat area associated with the GoToWebinar software if you want to give this a shot, and use our link and coupon because you get a discount when you do that. Basically, for a $50,000 account, I think it's like around $8 or something a month, maybe 37 and some change. But they give you the data, so that's not a bad deal. I know some people that just get it for the data, so kind of interesting. But you know, you can also day trade at night. Don't forget that. All right, there's Asian markets and London markets at night. So we have quite a few people that actually have jobs during the day, but want to do this at night. So there's an option for you. So just keep that in mind, and you know, you can do with it what you want. All right, so now I've got a few books. Really excited. I've been told by my publisher, Wiley Trading, that my new second edition, The Art of Trading, is going to be out next month. Might be towards the end of the month, but definitely next month from what I'm hearing. Really excited about that. It's about 580 pages, and it has an accompanying website where we're going to be able to update it with new material as it comes out. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've got a couple of books on money management. Everybody should start off with money management, of course. Elliott Wave Techniques is a form of Elliott Wave. It's a form of technical analysis, and my publisher on that was McGraw-Hill. And there you have it. Okay, so those books are available. If you're watching the recordings, I'll put those in the link so you can just go to our website, of course, and check those out. Same thing with the software. I'll put a link to our software, and also it's available on the website. It's great software, been around for quite some time. We tweak it from here to there. We always keep it up to date, so it works with the latest platforms. And currently we've got it set up for NinjaTrader, TradeStation, multi-charts, eSignal, MT4 and MT5, and we're looking into TradingView. Okay, so definitely expanding. All right, so let me just come out of here real quick. All right, and this happens to be NinjaTrader you're looking at here. Okay, so you can just kind of take a look at that. There we have that, and I'm connected to my Apex data vendor right there, and kind of cool. All right, so that's the data coming in on that. Now, I have a, Clifton, are you out there today? I got a lot of people here. Let me know if you're there today, because I've got your email that you sent our support area. So I do want to cover that today, but I want to make sure you're there. So Clifton, are you? Oh, good, excellent, okay. Well, welcome, welcome. All right, so Clifton, I'm going to read your questions and then answer them one by one, okay? And this also may help anybody else out there, because usually when somebody has a question, other people also have questions. All right, so let's see what we got here today. All right, so he goes, Clifton says, I want to paper trade the 5-minute time frame. I'm looking at charts while connected to Apex account. Okay, so here's my Apex account connected. So hopefully yours will look like this. These are all funded accounts. Today's results from a couple hours of trading. So yours should have Apex as the connection there as well. All right. For paper trading, do the data provided by Apex include valid data for the following symbols? Okay. So ES, yes. NQ, yes. MES, MNQ, SP500, no. And $ index, no. So basically, the S&P 500, you would trade the MES or the ES account on that. Okay, so NASDAQ is represented by the futures market as the NQ month and the year. So for example, I've got the MNQ 1224. So this is the December 24th contract, all right, on the micros. Now, if you want the actual NQs, all right, you basically either can just type, well, here, I'll just do it. Yeah, okay, NQ 1224, I'll just do it this way and type it in for you, and it will shift over to the NQ, and it will change all my charts, okay? As a general rule, when you first start out, especially on the $50,000 account, start with the micros, start between 3 and 5 micro contracts. Once you get good at it, you can boost it on up to the NQ, okay? But walk before you can run, so to speak, and watch your risk control, okay? Because you have trailing stops and all these things, so you got to be careful about that, all right? So kind of keep an eye on that. All right, so next question you're having, so hopefully let me know if that answers your question, okay? So that's question number 1. It's futures only. That would be the ES, the MES, the NQ, MNQ, and all those, okay? So futures only. And you can actually trade crude oil too, okay, if you want to. They have that, and I think they have gold, okay? All right, so you just can't trade the $ indexes. All right, or ETFs, can't do ETFs. All right, number 2, looking at the charts, I see confirmed pyramids. Let me just open up the 5-minute chart, because this is the one you're actually going to be using, right? All right, so there's this is the 5-minute chart, happens to be for the NASDAQ. I've got the pyramids loaded. I've got the indicators that I use for that at the bottom. And some of these things here are fair value gaps. I use that, for example, like when I get a trade market coming out into the fair value gap after a big move down. This is a great buying area, okay? Even if you only take it up a slight way. All right, but in any case, that's what you're looking at, the 5-minute time frame here. All right, now you're not seeing. Let's see what your question is. I see confirmed pyramids, but no Ps or MPs. Okay, that's probably because your chart background color is the same color as what you may be looking at on your Ps. So I want you to do this with me, okay? Grab your, hopefully you're there with your chart. Grab your chart, put your mouse on the background of the chart, right click, go to indicators right here. All right, and then I want you to go to pyramids, and let's stop there for a minute. So give me it, I'll let you take a second while you get caught up, okay? All right, so here's the thing. See this right here? These are your colors. So obviously on a white background, okay, text background color is white, but the actual text I use is black. So make sure your text color is not the same color as your background, because if it is, you're not going to see the letters. So check that. Let me know what you find out. And then also too, the same thing for the reversals here, okay? So what you have to do is make sure you got the art software loaded under configured, okay? So it'll be up here, but you got to bring it down here, and you do that. And once it's down here, all right, then you highlight it, the one you want to take a look at the settings, and you can see the settings will change depending on what I highlight. So if you highlight pyramids, that's where you're going to be able to take a look at the colors that the system is using for your pyramids. Now, what color chart is your background? That's question number one, I guess. So let me know the color of your chart background. Is it white? Is it black? Gray? Because that's all comes into effect of what colors you want to be choosing for the signals, right? Okay, so you got a black background. So let's go and take a look now and see, is your text color set to black? If so, change it to white. Change it to white. Because watch what happens, all right? Watch what happens when I change the background of the chart. But if I go up here, make the chart black and apply it, okay? You may lose some of the colors depending on what color it is, okay? So definitely make sure you can see those. Now, next question is obviously, I assume you have the pyramids loaded, so that's not a problem. But check to see if you have the art pyramids and the art reversals loaded. So I'm assuming you do there. And if anybody else, of course, has any questions, feel free to type those in and I'll get to them, okay? All right, so once you do that, you should certainly be able to see the P and MPs. Now, when a pyramid is forming, the default color may be a yellow for you, okay? I have it as a blue, okay? So the idea is you're not going to see a P or an MP until the pyramid is confirmed. And what that means is prices have to get over the point of it first. So that's kind of important. So you're not going to see a P or an MP on an unconfirmed pyramid. And that would be a pyramid forming. Let's just, I'll draw one in here. But let's just say one was forming here. This would be yellow, but you'd have no P or MP because it's not going to show you that until it actually gets confirmed. Okay? All right, so let's see what else here. What is the lowest, question number 3. Oh wait, question 2, still, hold on. Also experiment with end-of-day kinetic connection charts. Yep. How do I make a change to see the MP and MP signal? It has nothing to do with the time frame or the data provider. It has nothing to do with it. Whether you're using intraday charts or if I change to a daily chart, for example, all right, the pyramids themselves may be different, but in terms of the colors and everything, it'll be the same. Okay, so this is a daily chart. Now I'll go back to a 5-minute chart. So the pyramids are obviously going to be different because the price action is different, but it doesn't matter what time frame or connection, data connection you're using. Okay, so that has no effect on the P or anything like that, or the MP. All right, next question. What is the lowest time frame pyramid trading point P and MP symbols in addition to the 1 and 2 par reversals make sense? Well, it depends. For example, it all depends on your level of experience The lower time frames are going to require a little bit more experience in terms of making quicker decisions. Al Brooks, who is a big deal in price action, basically doesn't recommend anybody trading under a 3-minute time frame. He says it's very hard to compete with the machines of the brokers and the bankers and so forth. And so that's his recommendation based on that. I personally trade the 1 minute, but I just am very specific of when I take the trades, but I'm scalping the market. I'm really not trend trading, okay? So it really is a matter of looking at certain levels in the market for where they're gonna take liquidity and seeing what the trend is based off the pyramids and so forth, and then getting ready for the setup. So that depends, okay? So that's, okay, good. So the color issue was, okay, good. Main thing, Cliff, is good to ask the question and get it solved, right? So that was good, because now you know. All right, so getting back to time frames, there's nothing wrong with 5 minutes, okay, when you trade intraday. I think one of the biggest things you gotta ask yourself as a trader are you a scalper or are you an intraday trend trader? Because they're two different animals. If you're going to be an intraday trend trader, you need to get the prop accounts, if you're going to do this with a prop account, of about 250,000, because you need a larger trailing max drawdown for trend trading, because you've got to give the market room to breathe up and down. And a trailing drawdown of $2,500 in the 50,000 accounts may not be enough, especially on a 5-minute time frame. So you got to keep that in mind. I would start out with the 5-minute and see what you want to do, because you know, with the art software you can use the reversals for scalping and you can use the pyramids for trend trading. So it's up to you on how you want to use it. For example, you know, every time you get a reversal, you know, that's a scalp. You can take it down a few price bars to the bottom of a fair market value gap and cover, okay? All right, so they work pretty well, but you're not in this for a long period of time. And a lot of times when I take a scalp, I'm going against the trend, but I don't really care because I'm only going for a couple price bars. I'm not trying to say the trend is over. I'm just trying to take a little bit out real quick. And notice the difference. You see a trend trade here would be a pyramid entry here with a stop here. You trail your stops up, all right, and you finally get taken out here. Well, that's not a bad deal. That's about what, 2120, maybe 2130 up to what, 2020. Well, that's a nice little profit, all right. And you can see if you're going to scalp, you need quite a few scalps in order to make that profit. All right, so there may be times that it's better to trend trade and times better to scalp, or you could do both, okay, so to speak. So the art software is set up so you can use it for scalping or trend trading, but it's going to be up to you to decide how you want to do that, okay? Because everybody's personality is different. If you get into a day trading environment and it drives you nuts to have a position on for like 20 minutes or so, because you're watching these price bars and the anxiety's increasing and it's just not for you, then you should be a scalper. But if you can put a position on, all right, set your stop here, set it and forget it, and just, you know, whenever you get a new pyramid, that's when you change the stop. Get a new pyramid, that's when you change. So the intensity is a lot less when you're trend trading versus scalping. And it depends on your personality, okay? Then you should probably try both with a simulation account and see the difference, because you'll see what I mean in terms of the intensity. Okay, so hopefully that helps. All right, what is chart trader? Question number 4, chart trader. I think what you're referring to is this here called chart trader. Do you see this over here? It's basically your order entry system. Okay, it's over here. Pardon my drawings. All right, so To basically turn it on and off, you go up here to the top of each chart, has its own. All right, so you can turn it off and you can turn it on. Okay, and then you want to select the account that you want to trade. Okay, I have it set up for simulator right now because I don't want to accidentally trigger a trade in one of my funded accounts. So I keep it on the simulator, right? So in a case like this, basically for fun, let's just go ahead and buy the market. Okay, there's the market, right? So I got one order in. Now, if I want to put my stop under here, let's say I think this is going to be a good long position. So if I want to put my stop in, I take my pointer and just right click. And since this is a buy, we want to sell, and my stops are always market orders. So that's a sell stop market, and then I click on it, okay, and I can move it. So I can move it right one tick under there, or if I want to give it a little more room, then I put it under here, okay? So that's basically how you would set it. And then, you know, depending on what you want to do, if you're going to, let's say we had a pyramid here, then your stop could go even closer. But if you're scalping and you think you're only going to get to the high of this price bar, well, put a sell limit in for one right there, okay? And if you think, well, maybe to the bottom of that wick is better, then do that, okay? And keep it there and do it and run it up like that. If that risk to reward's no good, you can lower it there, okay? So it all depends on that, but my purpose of this is not to necessarily make a trade decision here as much as is to show you how the order entry works, okay? So that type of thing. All right, well, you have a $250,000 account, you're saying, so you could do the trend trading on that, right? So that would be fine. So you'd wait for a pyramid before going long. You wouldn't go long like I just did. But that's kind of the thing. Now, if I didn't want to wait for this to hit and I'm impatient and I don't think it's going up any higher, then I'll just sell the market, sell it right here.
Order filled.
Okay, and then make sure I close these out.
Canceled.
And then if we go back here, let's see on the simulator, I made 140 bucks, okay? It's right here. Now, that's one way of doing it. The other way is you can go to new and grab an order ticket. All right, so this is what an order ticket looks like. So let's open up this chart again and open up the order ticket. Okay, so there's the order ticket. And on this, I could set it to the NQ. All right, I can set the quantity. It can be a limit or a market. Simulators, account I want to use for this. All right, and let's just say I'll buy one here.
Submitted.
Okay, so I just bought one here. Again, if I want to sell it,
Order filled.
I could sell it there. Okay. Put another one back, another buy in there for another one. So if I wanted to add on to that position, I could, or just knock it out. So play around with that, but do it in a simulator account, because the bottom line is you don't want to be learning this in an account that you're funded. So, you know, you can just create a simulated account. One comes automatically, basically with NinjaTrader, and just use that to play around with, okay? So do it that way. And you know, learn how to do the mechanics first. But I usually very rarely use an order ticket. I pretty much will either use the chart trader on the far right, or if, you know, I really want to be specific on where I want to enter, I'll just right click and set a limit order, something like that. Okay, so you can do it all sorts of ways.
Order canceled.
All right, then you can cancel. But that also, to learn more about that, you can also go to the NinjaTrader website, or just go to YouTube and click in NinjaTrader order system, how to, and it will show you. And the Sim 101 is free, okay? It's included with the NinjaTrader. So that's not something you have to pay for. But you still need the data, which is why it's nice to have the prop account, because that gives you the free data along with that subscription. So the idea, what I would recommend is you practice in a sim account until you're profitable on in other words, you have an edge, consistent basis, and then walk it over to the real accounts, okay? All right, let's see here. Okay, so I think I answered number 5, where you said I was listening to one of your videos, and the video suggested using a limit market order, okay? So I'll tell you, when I usually trade, unless I need to get into the market right away, like right now, if I wanted to get in the market right away, I'll just buy the market, okay? And I can do that on fairly liquid markets like the NQ. But if I wanted to be more specific and say, I don't want to go long here until it gets up here, then I could set a limit order and it won't fill until prices touch that, okay? Or you could do a buy limit order under. Let's say you don't want to chase the market, but you think they're going to come down and grab liquidity again under here, so you can put a buy limit under there and just wait. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways you can use your limit orders. All right, let's see what else here. So limit here, market here.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
Buy bid is the same thing as a limit order.
Filled.
Okay, right over here. But I personally, I like to right click on the chart for me.
Order
okay, so that's just the way I like to do it. All right, where's my little sim account here? Okay, so is that clear? So far, I think I'm answering your questions, but I just want to make sure I'm not going too fast and I'm actually covering what you need me to cover. And if anybody else has any questions, feel free to jump in, okay? So can an order be placed from a chart? I think I showed you how you can do that. Okay, you can just right click on the chart, go limit, or just hit buy market from the chart trader. Okay, so again, I think once again, there's 2 ways of entering orders, okay? All right, mostly. So which ones are I not answering? Okay, so you're saying yes, answering questions mostly, but that's not good enough for me. Okay, we got to do it completely. So where am I missing? So while you're typing in there, so the idea here again is for order entry, NinjaTrader provides a variety of different ways to do it. Now, if you're using TradeStation or another platform, they'll have similar ways in which to do it, but maybe a little different. So just, get familiar with your platform. And, you can go to the websites of like TradeStation or eSignal or NinjaTrader, and actually they'll have pretty good videos on how to do this. And if they don't, just go to YouTube. All right, I can find anything on YouTube. I was building a shed out back and something wasn't clear. I just went to YouTube and looked it up and bada boom, bada bing, okay? Okay, order entry. Let's break it down real specific. So he's a little fuzzy still on order entry. All right, so there's a blank chart, right? Okay, all right, so there's no way to enter an order in here at this point with a blank chart, right? Okay, there's 2 ways in which we can start to think about entering orders. One is we want to put the chart trader on the right. So whether you're going to use a ticket or not, I highly recommend always putting the chart trader on. So let's do that now. You go up to the top and you go to this little icon here. Okay, let me do it this way. Here, all right, and click on it. Left click and chart trader. And that brings chart trader up. Now, the next thing you want to do is make sure you set the account proper account up. So, until you get this down, always do the SIM 101 account, okay? So that's what you would set that at there first. Now, in the beginning, when you're learning, you can use a quantity of 1, 2, whatever number you want. So it doesn't really matter because it's a fake account anyway, right? So just, you can use 1 just to get the mechanics down. Now, there's something called an ATM strategy, and I'll get to that in a minute. But for right now, that's another level of complication, but it's actually very handy. But for right now, let's just stick with the basics, okay? So now I've got the chart trader up. I've got it set to the account. I've got it set to the order quantity. Now, since I'm day trading, I don't need to worry about good to cancel orders or anything. I just put a date order in, okay? That's all I need to do. Now, if I'm position trading and I'm going to be looking at a trade that I'm going to be in for a while and I got to go to work, but the entry is right above the pyramid, and I might put that in good till canceled because I want that to carry over until it actually is filled or the pyramid disappears and I'll remove it or something, okay? So that's the kind of thinking behind that. So, you can use a day. The instrument will automatically load depending on what chart you have up, okay? So that's the other thing. All right, so once you get the chart trader up, you can enter and exit trades right from these buttons at the top, okay? These buttons here. And you can play around with those. And I think if you go to the Ninja website, they'll give you a more detailed explanation if you want one of what they want. For example, if I hit close, it'll close the position without having to hit the sell button if I'm long, vice versa if I'm short. All right, if I want to go flat, same type of thing, okay? So, you can play around with those on a simulator until you understand what each one does. Now, as long as you have the chart trader loaded on the right-hand side, that is now going to allow you to access by right-clicking on the chart other types of orders that weren't available before. Sell limit, sell market, sell stop market, and sell stop limit. So those 4, and you can see when you click on that, then you can move them up and down real quick. All right, so let me remove the chart trader for a minute. And let me right click on the chart and you'll see those are all gone. All right, I have no longer the capability of clicking on any orders by right clicking on the chart. So you have to have this loaded first. So you come here, chart trader, and then you'll have the ability, if you want to right click and load them right there on the chart, you can do so. All right, so that's probably the easiest way for you to do it. And I suggest doing it this way. Now, another way in which you could place orders on the chart is actually bring up one of their tickets, and they also have Super Dom, but I think that's too complicated right now. Let's just keep it simple. And just you can bring up an order ticket, and that order ticket looks like this, and you could use that. I personally think for day trading, you don't need that. All you need is the actual chart trader, and that's it. Simplifies things a lot. All right, so does that help? Again, when you're new, I don't want to go over too soon because it's best to take what I've taught you here and play around with it. And if anybody else has anything they want to add on there, feel free to do so. Great, okay. No such thing as a bad question, okay? And so Cliff, if I get to a point where, I'm glad you said that you weren't clear on one thing because, I don't know your experience level necessarily on NinjaTrader, so you got to tell me when it doesn't make sense to you, okay? Let's see. The other thing they have, and I don't think this is something you should worry about right now, but they have something called an ATM strategy. And what that does, for example, let's just see. I don't know. Let me just see if I got a quick one here. Let's put this one reversal up and see what this does.
Order filled.
All right, so you see on this one here, notice how it put a variety of different things up here. Okay, so it gave me two limit orders pretty close together, so I'd have to mess around with that. But notice it puts a couple orders up here, a stop automatically and a sell, which is kind of handy, all right, because the bottom line is that then you don't have to right click and worry about your stops, but you do have to set it up. So maybe that would be a good topic for next week, all right? So we can worry about that. But the nice thing about them is in the ATM strategies is that when you hit a buy or a sell order, you can program the ATM strategy to place a stop at a certain amount of ticks or points, and also your exit, okay? So it's really handy when you're day trading a short-term time frame, not to have to go ahead and actually focus on entering in three orders, the buy or the sell, the profit-taking limit, or the stop market. So it kind of keeps you from doing that. But in any case, for right now, I keep it simple and get familiar with the chart trader, which is the order entry system on the right-hand side of the chart. Okay, so I think that's probably good for today. All right, so does anybody else have any questions? Actually, I think next week a fun topic would be to go over the ATM strategy. What do you think? Because that's something, even if you've been using NinjaTrader a long time, I find that a lot of people don't know how to program that, okay? So that's something that's pretty good to do. All right, good. And come back next week with anything I didn't cover, okay, Cliff? All right, because you know the whole purpose of the client support is to do exactly what we did today, help you out and answer your questions. But again, you got to remember that I've been doing this for so long. Sometimes people that are new, I assume they know something and they may not. So you have to let me know if there's something I get too far ahead on, okay? That type of thing. All right, how's everybody doing? All right out there? Okay. Market's making new high. How do you like that Bitcoin? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's just take a look at GBTC here because I have that loaded here. Let me just go here. And for fun, I'll just put it GBTC. And let's see how we're doing. We're getting up at our target, okay? So I'm gonna open this up. This is kind of getting interesting here because I have quite a bit of it both in the coin and GBTC. And notice we're in our target, okay? So we hit our target 3, 4. Remember I said this was a good buy area in here. All right, even this was okay, but now it's not because now it's in the target. So the way I would handle this, all right, is green PTF, very nice, bearish divergence. We'll see if that continues. But when this goes yellow, probably not a bad time to maybe scale out of some. Now, Bitcoin is a very interesting animal and it's a very interesting following of people because some people are married to it forever, thinking it's going to be the latest thing in terms of future currency, okay? And, I'm not saying they're wrong. They certainly could be right. But everything moves in waves in the market. So if you're willing to hold Bitcoin for quite a long time, like you would a long-term stock holding, then you're not going to worry about getting in and out, and you don't mind waiting 5 years for something to return and make a new high. And that's what Bitcoin will be. Once this thing is over here, then it will topple down and be a while before it takes off again. All right, so that's something to think about is if you want to wait around for that to happen or you want to take your profits. Now, a couple things we're going to watch with Bitcoin. So And I'm just using GBTC because I have it loaded on this platform, but the same applies. So we're going to be watching here. We're going to be watching the owl. And we're going to be watching this wave 3 owl. You have to have bearish divergence for this to be a wave 5 target zone. If this owl gets larger than this one, then this is all part of a major wave 3, and this was a minor 4, not a major 4. And if that's the case, then we got quite a bit of room up, but nonetheless, we'll have a top on the major 3 and then a pullback. So we're going to watch that like a hawk. We have a bearish art reversal here, so we're probably due maybe for a little bit of a pullback for a while. And so maybe we'll come back close to that gap here before it resumes back to the upside. That's possible. All right, we'll have to see. But in any case, with the green PTF, we're kind of pretty confident in that even after a pullback, it will regain itself and go higher. So that's the thought. Now, the other thought is, okay, well, I'm in the target range. You know, I'm kind of concerned that we may pull back a little more than that. So I think what I'll do is I'll, you know, maybe sell a third if we go below that 1B. Okay, you can do that. All right, no harm, no foul on that. Or you could be trailing your stops up to here or something of that nature. Pyramid's got it here to allow for a correction before going back up. Pyramids do a real good job on this stuff. So, you know, there you have it. And, you know, Bitcoin has reached its target, which we basically have been talking about for a long time. And also, too, hopefully many of you will be able to buy here, because I think I suggested this several times during our presentations over the summer. So that was a great buy area. And also, too, if you're a subscriber of our market opportunity report, this was a big buy as well. Okay, so you know, there you have it. All right, will it go on forever? No, but it could certainly go on for a little bit longer, that's for sure. Let's take a look at that weekly chart again. Here on this one here, we got a green PTF. And look, we're just starting to go green on the owl. So we could have quite a few more legs up here. So this 70% of the time, wave 5s hit this target. So we've hit it. 15% of the time they go higher. So in 15% of the time they are basically a shallow wave 5, but that's not the case here. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I think we got more highs coming, but we could have a pullback before getting up again. We'll have to see how it does on that 1B reversal coming up today. Basically, that just formed today. So that's kind of a fun thing to cover. All right. Also, too, one other thing, Cliff, for you. Hopefully, you're still here. Yep, you are. Okay. So when you have a simulated account like this, see, I've only got 30 bucks in there now as profit. What you want to do is you can reset it. Just go up to it, highlight it, right click, go down to edit account, second from the top, and just reset. And you can put any dollar amount you want right there, and it will wipe it out and all the associated orders with that. Okay, so you can, you know, take a look at that. All right, so you can certainly decide how you want to do that. All right, any questions? We have Stock Analysis Friday coming up. And so on Stock Analysis Friday, I'm going to cover in more detail. We'll have a little more information on the cryptos by then. But I want to take a look at some other things too, like the bonds, TLT, UNG, which has made a recent new low. We want to take a look at gold and silver and all that kind of good stuff. All right. So that's kind of cool. All right. Menu. This menu here, all right, for the account balance is under the simulated account. Do you see that? All right, it's under the control panel. So this is the control panel. All right, and go down here and you can see control panel here. So when you open Ninja, it'll put an icon on the toolbar at the bottom. So if you go down to that toolbar, you'll see all the possible open windows I have for NinjaTrader. And so you want to make sure you can see the control panel. And what I do is put it off to the right so I can kind of keep an eye on what I got cooking up there, okay? And then from there, you can use the sim account. There it is, Sim 101. And you can create more sim accounts too. So while you're learning the basics, use the sim account, okay? And then you can reset it whenever you want. You can reset it every 10 minutes. You can reset it when you get ready to close Ninja, so it's fresh the next day or whatever, however you want to do it, okay? All right, well, I guess I'll end here. I know I went a little bit over, but fun stuff. So I think next week we'll go over some ATM strategies and how to put those into NinjaTrader, because those are fun. And also too, you know, you can program TradeStation to do this stuff too, okay? All right, so that's it. All right, good turnout today. I want to thank everybody for coming. And we're going to be doing a Tucson tutorial in probably February, I'm thinking, of this year. And we're going to trade the live prop accounts and basically show you some of the strategies I use when I trade those. And, you know, it's not only the art software and the reversals, but I also look at things like fair value gaps and order blocks when I scalp those. So we'll take a look at that and show you how to combine those into a tradable approach. All right, well, we'll see you back here next week. Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. The recording will be in our YouTube area, in the private area. It's always unlisted, and you can check that out, okay? All right, thanks so much for coming. And Cliff, thanks for your questions. I think that probably helped everybody. And we'll see you all back here next week. Thanks so much.